Hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this is Haunt Weekly, a weekly podcast for the haunted attraction and entertainment industry. Whether you're an actor, owner, or just plain aficionado, we aim to be a podcast for you. And we return to you this week with some positivity. It feels like we've been negative lately. The last one we did was about what makes you roll your eyes in a haunt. Well, we wanted to talk about some good stuff. So that's what we're going to do this week. It's 10 positive signs that get us excited or get us at least hopeful for your haunt. I'm looking forward to talking about this. But if you want the negativity, well, we probably have about 350 episodes of those.
Yeah.
So feel free to go back and check out hauntweekly.com, hauntweekly on Twitter, hauntweekly on Facebook, and youtube.com/hauntweekly. We are at all places, including wherever you get your podcast from. Apple, Google, Spotify. I have no idea who else there is anymore. Podbean. Go there. All right. Well, before we get on to the main topic this week, every week we ask you a question of the week. You usually respond, and last week was no exception. The question was, what is your favorite thing to experience when going through a haunt? And I had some really good answers here. I had to cut it down a fair amount. So, Maximum Christian Bryant said he enjoys secret messages, in particular ones he doesn't see on the first pass-through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jason Olson said actor-driven haunts not loaded with animatronics.
You know, there was that haunt we went... Huh?
Completely agree.
There was that haunt we went to in Atlanta that was actually two haunts, and they put all the actors in one and all the animatronics / puppetry in the other. And it was interesting. I definitely know which side was more scary and more entertaining. It was the actor-driven side. So, yeah, no, I agree with that one, too. Christian Risto says, in-house design and made props, scenes, costumes, etc., blended with some purchased elements. This led to a bit of a conversation where basically the agreement was, yes, that you can buy stuff from the catalogs, but you have to customize it. You have to make it yours. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. I remember, what we talk about is when we talk about, the worst haunt we went to, the Bulow Fun Park one. Mm-hmm. It was not for lack of spending insane amount of money on props and animatronics.
No.
There was just no effort made to make them, A, unique to them, or to frame them in any way. It was basically a showroom for fright props about, what would you say, 15, 20 years ago?
Yeah, it was
a long time ago, yeah. But yeah, it was black walls and spotlights and fright props. So cool, I got to see the props in action. Mm-hmm. Before we got to ever go to a trance world or something.
Yeah.
But on the downside, I paid $10 for a haunted house. Not a showroom floor.
Yeah. Michael Arnold said, well done original characters.
Yes. We might be revisiting this one.
Yes, we will. We will be revisiting that. We've talked about characters and the importance of them many times.
Yeah. And Max Schick said, regular lighting instead of color lighting. According to Max, it improves the realism and doesn't muddy the colors of the haunt. Mm-hmm. Okay, I agree there are a lot of haunts, glass houses, that over-rely on colored lighting. Mm-hmm. And like I said, we're one. So.
Well, yeah, but we don't overdo it.
No, and we always, and I guess the thing that we also do is we kind of know the color we're going into with the lighting.
Yeah.
And so when we actually do the paint, we try to make the paint look, like it would be under the correct color.
Yeah.
We try to adjust the paint. Because that's one of the things that we can do relatively easily and inexpensively for a home haunt like this, is use lighting to change scene to scene to scene, mm-hmm. and provide some separation.
Yeah.
So, and also just to provide a general atmosphere of weirdness. But yeah, I do agree. Some haunts have overdone it, and they've overdone it to the point of completely, as he pointed out, muddying their colors, muddying their haunt. And I guess I would add to this also haunts that don't light themselves adequately.
Yeah.
Because how many haunts have we been through and we have, been ticked off that they clearly had all this cool stuff, cool mm-hmm. sets, cool props, and couldn't see shit of it.
Yeah, that's why we'd never do flashlight nights.
Yeah. If we can avoid it.
Yeah. And I'm gonna add in one more.
Okay.
James Isaac, the blind squirrel, said, I guess I'm automatically disqualified from this question.
Yes.
Now, I got this comment, And I went and read the question, and we actually changed the question this week because it said, "What's your favorite thing to experience when going through, or to look to see when going through a haunt?"
Yeah.
And so I looked at the question, read his name, I was like, "Oh crap," and had a little laugh at myself. But then we changed it to experience.
In their defense, we were trying to keep the theme from the last week's question a week, which was what makes you roll your eyes.
Yeah, but anyway, he went on to say a good story throughout. It's very important.
I actually, I was very, very happy to see so many people rocking up in defense of story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And not just like story as presented on the website, but story throughout the haunt, taking the story with you. I think that is such a cool thing. And everyone who said that is absolutely right. And we might be coming back to that point too.
Yeah.
So anyways, as I mentioned, last week we did the whole thing about what makes you roll your eyes. What's your eye roll moment? And the whole universe wanted a piece of that question.
Yeah.
We had to do a whole fucking episode on it. It was the thing.
Well, it was really easy for us.
Yeah, well, it didn't. But also, we were never going to pare down just the best 6.
Right.
Come on, we're not capable of that.
No.
We try to get it to between like 6 and 10 per week that we can include. And that was going to be impossible. So, yes, we wanted... well, that actually takes us to this week's question of the week. Sorry. Skipped ahead. Got thrown off. This week's question of the week is what do you look for when choosing a haunt to go to? What are your clues that this is a haunt that's going to be good?
Exactly.
Once again, let us know at all the places we exist. HauntWeekly.com, HauntWeekly on Twitter, HauntWeekly on Facebook, and YouTube.com/HauntWeekly. So anyways, back to the negatives. We were talking about the negatives. And honestly, we don't like being negative. We do this podcast to be rah-rah, support, love the haunt industry. Also because we met some awesome people through it and because of it. Basically, though, we try to keep things positive as much as we can. News episodes, those get a little difficult. But we do try to stay on the positive. So we wanted to do something positive this week. And so basically, we wanted to my original thought was, we'll just do the inverse. Kind of like what the question of the week was. What are 10 things we want to see? But then I realized, hey, we have an opportunity here to make something that's timely. We could talk about things that haunts can do right now in their promotion, in their build, to tell us, and people like us, and other customers too, that they're going to be good.
Yeah.
Send those signals that you're going to be a great haunt, or at least an interesting haunt.
Or one that I definitely want to go to.
Yeah, one I definitely can't miss. So we're going to be looking at 10 of those signs. And to be clear, none of these have worked out 100% for us.
No.
As we go, we'll probably have discussions about which of these really have worked for us and paid off, and which, probably should ignore, but we can't because lizard brain. There's a little bit of both in here. So yeah, we're going to be doing some psychoanalysis as we discuss, why we like these things and why we pay attention to them, even if they're not always actually good signs. And I think that just leads right into it.
Yeah.
Item 1, when a haunt says it has been open X number of years. And X is a number at least in double digits, to be clear.
Yeah, you've got to get past the 5 mark for me. Because any business is going to sink or fail in 5 years. That's what they always tell you.
Yeah.
So if you make it 10, you got to be doing something right.
You've at least got to have the fundamentals down.
Yeah.
You would hope.
You would hope. We've seen it go tragically wrong.
Indeed. But usually,
yeah,
if a haunt has made it 10 years, they're at least covering the fundamentals. They're at least not sucking. And that's especially true if they're in a place where they depend upon repeat business year after year after year.
Yeah.
Tourist haunts can get away with kind of sucking a little more because they're going to get new people as long as their marketing and promotion is good. They can bring new blood in. So you get a little more there. But if you're dependent upon repeat customers and you made it 10 years, and 5 actually isn't bad either. To be very clear.
Yeah.
5 is no joke. So 5 would also probably at least maybe go, okay, what's the adage? I'm basically the boss of a uranium mine that's refusing to commit anyone's name to memory until they work 3 shifts.
Yeah.
If you haven't made it 3 shifts, I don't need to know your name, bro.
No.
It's kind of like that. If you haven't made it 5 years, I don't need to know your name. But obviously that's not true because we do go to new haunts all the time. But the point is, I always find it impressive when haunts have been open for an extended period of time because that is a clear indication they're at least not terrible.
Yeah. And I would say that we are excited every time we see a new haunt also
Yes.
in our area.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We do love new haunts. But as far as like the sign that it's going to be great, because like a new haunt is an unknown.
Yeah.
Which is why it's interesting and exciting.
Exactly.
It's the unknown. We don't know. We could be walking into the revelation.
Mm-hmm.
Again.
Yeah.
That happened once.
Was a story.
It's a story.
All right.
But no, so yeah, for a sign that a haunt is good, this is one of my go-tos. Just because if it's been there 10 years, it has like a floor. It can't. And I'll say this, 13th Gate, Mortuary, Rise, they've all hit those double digits.
Yeah.
They all have exceeded that floor by some wide margin, I would argue. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it works. That one, I think, is one of the better ones. In terms of at least we're going to get a competent experience.
Mm-hmm. All right, number 2.
2.
Size comparison, because size does matter. Or at least it gets us excited. Square feet, length of trail. How big are you?
Yeah.
Bear in mind that if you advertise that your haunt is really big, it needs to feel it. We need to be able to see it.
It needs to be on fucking display every...
Yeah. Like, you can have a really big haunt and, like, the shortest walkthrough. Yeah. People who have been to that haunt know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, we've mentioned the name multiple times in the podcast. Yeah. There's no reason to cat powder out now. Terror on the Coast. Yeah. Advertises a 100,000 square foot haunt. Walkthrough is less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating. And I have a feeling that they actually do use 100,000 square feet of space.
Yeah.
Just not efficiently.
Yeah. Well, and on the opposite side, we've got Trail Haunt near Lafayette. Fright Trail,
yeah.
Yeah. Who advertises its length, and it actually feels like it is that long.
Yeah, and it's reasonably full, too. There are breaks in it, but breaks are an important part of it, of any haunt. And there's no point, I would say, it feels dead.
Right.
So you do feel like you're actually getting, I can't remember what they say, it's like 1.5 miles or something. Mm-hmm. But bring a good walk in shoes, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's through the woods.
Pull out the boots. Maybe pull out the boots or the sneakers for these.
Yeah.
Just saying, you want some footwear. But yeah, this one, as far as reliability, has been one of the worst. Yeah. To be honest. We do, but here's the thing. We do get excited.
Yeah.
When we're like, oh shit, they're X number of miles, or they're 200,000 square feet, whatever. We go, we start.
What are they going to do with all that space?
And I think part of our problem specifically is we're in our heads going, oh, here's what I would do with that space.
Yeah.
If I had 200,000 square feet, I would do, that'd be this popping up, and that would be fucking nuts. It'd be crazy. And
well, we know what we do with our haunt.
Yeah, but 625 square feet.
Yeah. We just take that and multiply it and add in some breaks.
Yeah, we know what we would do. Yeah. And that makes us really excited because now we're hopefully in our head going to go see what some other mad genius is doing with their excess of space. And sometimes they do, and they deliver beautifully. Sometimes they don't. Mm-hmm. And it's rough when they don't. It's rough to get told that a haunt is big and giant and it's going to be this huge, long thing. And then you get there and it's like a fart in a sauna. It just lingers and then leaves.
Okay.
Moving on. Okay. This is my favorite part, these two. Because they're technically one item, but they're split for a very obvious reason. Professional advertising and marketing is a big one for me. A really well put together site / advertising / social media campaign with professionally done graphics, everything integrating into one another. Your social media doesn't look like crap, even though you got a professional commercial, and vice versa. Everything integrates both stylistically and in terms of quality. Nothing looks amateurish. Nothing looks unplanned. And yeah, I get really, really stoked when I see that because A, it's an indicator of money being spent on this haunt. But here's the thing, and here's the part that kind of drives me bananas. We're in the year of our Lord 2023. the gap between doing good design and great design is not that insurmountable anymore.
Right.
20 years ago or so, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Getting a functional commercial was significantly easier and significantly cheaper than getting a professional one.
Mm-hmm.
So I understood why more haunts hit there. There is almost nothing stopping you now
No.
from just taking it to that truly professional level. And, I mean, I have made jokes about how the haunt industry all use the same haunt design for their website.
For the websites,
yeah. For the website.
There's like two.
Yeah. And I've even picked on playfully Sinister Visions for this.
Uh-huh.
But here's the thing. It's a professional looking fucking website and logo. It really and truly is.
Yeah.
It is. Is it the same at every haunt they do? Fairly close. But it is no doubt professional. It is no doubt good looking. And no doubt does it put the correct information forward.
Right. And it makes it easy for the haunt owner to have that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I pick on it, and it does annoy me sometimes, especially when I'm planning haunt trips.
Yeah. Is this that side, or is this that other
Jesus Christ. Is this the one in Montgomery? God, which one am I on? It's a little frustrating at those times.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, it is well done. I can't deny or take anything away from it. So basically, if you have an okay website or a good enough website,
mm-hmm.
just put in a little bit extra to kick it over the top. Trust me, it's worth it. It looks so good, and it gets me so hyped. But then again, the alternative.
Some of the best haunts we've been to have had the worst advertising.
The jankiest, bullshittiest. What the hell? Where did you find a Xerox machine this old to photocopy your flyers?
Yeah.
Crappy.
Hand-drawn, hand-painted, little signs that say haunted house.
And not like by a professional artist.
No.
Because hand-drawn can be a part of the fancy stuff, too, very easily. But no, we're talking like they got the kindergarten class to all this. We have seen that work. One of our favorite haunt visits ever, Waterloo Sportsman Club.
Yeah. That
flyer looked like utter shit.
It did.
It was like on pink paper or blue paper or something?
Yeah, it was hot pink.
Oh, it's hot pink.
So you couldn't miss it.
No, you definitely couldn't miss it. They also did mention that they've been open for 30 plus years, tying back into that one.
Yeah.
But it was the jankiest, silliest, and of course we take one look at it and go, oh, we got to check this shit out.
Yeah. Realize that it's close to where we were going anyway, so yeah.
And that's kind of the funny thing about it. It's like, we may be the only industry where you want to have advertising that's either really professional, really top tier, or super jank.
Yeah.
There's an uncanny valley of haunt advertising between those two, and you do not want to fall into it.
Well, and I think it depends on the type of haunt you are.
That's also true.
Because if you're a really high-end professional haunt like 13th Gate, then you're going to want the high-end marketing.
Yeah, especially if you're going to be charging those high-end prices.
Yeah, because people are going to know they're going to get a quality-type experience. Whenever I see the more homemade feel, I feel like those are going to be the most fun experiences. Because those people are usually going to have a lot of creativity because they didn't spend the money on the marketing.
Well, and they're also, it's more likely a passion project.
Exactly.
You know that the people that run those, and once again, going back to Waterloo, the passion was all over the flipping place on that visit. I still, and to this day, absolutely in awe at how much passion every single person that worked there had.
Yeah.
This, you could tell they lived for the shit. It was incredible. But yeah, their flyer looked absolute trash. And that's okay, because if it hadn't looked like that, we might not have gone.
Or we might have gone with expectations of having movie set quality and gotten there and it'd be the trail haunt that it was and not been as impressed.
Basically, the attitude here is this can be very effective, especially for a charity haunt or a home haunt. Mm-hmm. I think a pro haunt could make it work, especially if they work that into the entire aesthetic of their haunt, because as you were just talking about, the aesthetic of your marketing needs to pair well with the aesthetic inside the haunt.
Exactly.
If you're bringing out the Disney shit, you probably don't want the squiggly ghosts on your flyer. You know?
You love the squiggly ghosts.
We love squiggly ghosts, but it probably shouldn't be on your flyer.
Yeah.
Because,
Mm-hmm.
All right. Number 5. Eight, and this is one that ties in directly to what we were discussing with last week's question of the week. A compelling story. We talk about it a lot. It's one of our favorite topics. We even had an AI help us write some compelling stories. Compellingly bad, but compelling.
I can't go both ways.
But yeah, so yeah, we talked about this a lot, but we still don't see it that much. And one of the things that can really get me amped for going through a haunt is when there is a cohesive backstory, and it is presented very early on.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. And here's the thing: I've seen it be a giant blurb of text, and we're still going to do some reviews of haunted attraction backstories. We still want to come back to that topic. That may be a good thing for after the news episode, even. But basically, it can be that. But it can also be something as simple as a one-paragraph blurb. Come meet Dr. So-and-so as he perform and see his experiments and creations and all that. And you can kind of just do that and indicate, hey, we've put some thought into the story and the narrative of this haunt. It's going somewhere. Hopefully it's going to go somewhere and be paid off. But the frustration is, and this was something that was pointed out by who was it that answered this in the question of the week. Micah, I think it's Micah, pointed out that it has to continue through the haunt. You can't just have the blurb on your site and have everything else be disconnected from it.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. That might, it might get us hyped, it might get us amped to go, but it also kind of makes us disappointed and makes us not want to come back.
Yeah, we need the follow through.
Yeah, we need the follow through on that, and I think the idea of the hidden messages and putting stuff out there because I think a haunt should work on all story levels. If you don't give a crap about the story and don't want to read the story, fine. You're just going through a bunch of decorated sets with people scaring the shit out of you. It's fine.
Yep.
If you want to follow the story a little bit, then here's the narrative, and you can kind of follow the flow through the haunt. And you're free to ignore it, turn your brain off to it anytime. And if you're someone that really wants the story, wants that drip, then here's all the hidden messages and shit that other people aren't going to get that you are because you pay close attention.
Yeah.
I think it should work on all 3 levels.
I do too.
But, but a compelling story definitely gets me excited, A, because it shows that they've thought about this. They actually have put some thought into their narrative. And B, it gives me kind of a sneaky inside thing I get to look out for when we're going through the haunt.
Yeah, well, and it's like, so recently I was watching the Zombie Army videos, and the way that they're doing their story and building it into not only the haunt, but also the behind the scenes things that they put out on YouTube is great advertising.
Oh, yeah.
It all ties it together so that even if you're just slightly more than a casual fan of the haunt, you go watch the YouTube series and you see, oh, this is what that means. And then you go into the haunt and you look for elements of that story being told that weren't in the back behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, and once again, someone who doesn't give a shit about that, Hell's Gate's still going to be a great haunt.
Exactly.
You're going to have lots of great scenes. You're going to have a good stage show. You're going to have a lot of shit there.
Yeah.
But like you said, someone who is a fan and puts in that extra effort, they get a little sneaky bonus. They get something extra. They're getting like the level 2 experience, and they didn't even pay for the second ticket, for an extra ticket.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but so a compelling story, something that makes me want to learn more about this place or its characters, really does a lot to drive home. Speaking of which...
Character! That's next!
Yeah, wow, what a coinky-dink!
Yeah, because we love haunts that have an interesting lead character. Especially ones that kind of bring the other elements together.
Yes.
But give us somebody we want to meet. And if you put them in your marketing, they better fucking be there.
Damn fucking right. Oh my god, that has happened a few times to us.
Yeah.
Character advertised, billboards, fucking TV, radio spots, everything, whole 9 yards, all over the website, all over the flyers. Oh no, he's not here today.
Nope.
Oh, fuck you too then.
Yeah.
I came here to see Bingo the Clown or whatever the fuck it was.
And if that character dies because the actor's retired or not working with you, whatever, make that part of the story too. Like, put that into your story. I want to see, so-and-so you know, isn't with us anymore, and here's his tomb or whatever.
And then, but they pass the torch to their protege.
Exactly.
And here's someone new.
Exactly. Because you got to work that in. You got to pass it on.
And don't worry about killing off characters if you might want to bring them back. We're the haunted attraction industry. Bringing things back from the dead is kind of our area of expertise.
Exactly.
I think we're second only to comic books in doing that.
Oh, I was thinking daytime TV shows, soap operas.
Okay, so we're behind soap operas, comic books, but we're still very well ranked in this particular field.
Yeah. We are.
We're the very narrow field of bringing dead characters back. We're number 3, a solid number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, horror movies too.
Yeah.
So maybe 4, but we're still up there.
Yeah.
Still up there. So yeah, number 7. This is the hardest one for you to do, but this really does get me amped. A natural buzz online.
Mm-hmm.
What are people talking about? Because here's one of the things when we're planning a trip to like we do Biloxi or Houston or Atlanta or whatever, one of the first things we do is we get into whatever public groups we can.
Yeah.
And start reading what other people. If we can post in it, they'll let us post. We're going to post. Hey, we're going to be in Atlanta this weekend. Got any recommendations?
Yeah.
Please, but no, we will at least read these forums, and we will read them obsessively for haunt ideas.
Yeah, and if you've got good press because you're doing good for the community, we're more likely to come to you.
We're more likely to find it too.
Yeah, if you were out and proud, either BIPOC, LGBTQ plus owned or representing, we're going to come to you, and we're going to be excited about it. If you have days where you are conscious about different people's needs to be able to experience fully your haunt, like the sensory deprivation days.
Yes, and the visually impaired days that some haunts have done.
Yeah, and the kids' days.
Yeah.
Like we know that you are thinking outside of just yourself. So that makes us excited too.
Yeah. It's so difficult to generate, though, this kind of buzz.
Yeah.
And like you said, honest news stories that...
Yeah.
I mean, obviously all news is PR in some way.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you're on, your local NBC affiliate talking about this thing you're doing is going to get us way more excited than a paid ad or a paid ranking in a top 10.
Yeah, because we know how those happen.
Yeah. Yeah. We have hit a point in our lives of going to haunts where we don't even check top lists.
No.
In fact, we avoid them.
Yeah.
And so and there's a lot of great sites out there to supposedly help you find haunts and will help you rank them or find the ones you want or whatever. Fine. That's great. I'm happy they exist. But I also know the rankings on those sites are so often bullshit that finding the ones that aren't bullshit is harder, you know what I mean? Is more work than me just coming up with my own what are people fucking talking about metric.
Exactly.
It's so much easier. Like when we did the Atlanta trip, one of the first things we did was we knew we had to hit Netherworld.
Yeah.
So one of the haunts was done. Another haunt we found on accident while we were there. But all the others... I was looking through forums. I was looking through maps and reviews on Google Maps.
Yeah.
I was looking through places where actual people talk about these haunts and the experiences.
Yeah, I think we even pulled up like Yelp or something just to see if they had anything that wasn't in the maps.
Yeah, and Yelp is a fucking garbage fire.
Oh, yeah.
Don't actually base anything on the reviews from Yelp. That is the shortest way to get burned.
Yeah, you could get a name, though, and then go and do extra research.
Yeah, and you might be able to find, like you said, something in a region. They might have places that haven't trickled into the wider web. But no, any of that natural buzz online, that gets us really, really hyped. And sort of a subset of this is when we get a recommendation from a friend we trust and value their opinion.
Yeah.
Like, why the fuck did we go to Ravens Run Inn? Kyle told us.
Exactly.
Why would we listen to Kyle? Because we know Kyle will never lead us the fuck astray.
Exactly.
If Kyle says something is a must-see, it is a must-see, and I will literally drive 6 hours from St. Louis to Mount Carroll to do it solely on Kyle's word.
Yes. And we also will do that if we are at a haunt and they tell us about another haunt in the area. And we've had that happen a couple of times. And we always hit up the one that we didn't know about. So we're crazy like that. We'll just do that. We'll just go off.
But yeah, but Natural Buzz Online
Yeah.
gets us super stoked for a haunt. It is so difficult to actually generate that, but if you can, man, you're probably in a good place.
Yeah.
Number 8.
All right, a unique hook.
Oh man, this one's important.
Yeah. Why should I give you my money?
Why should I go to your haunt specifically?
Yeah. What is your USP, your unique selling point?
And we've seen some interesting ones.
Yeah, including unlimited beer.
Which, okay, that one was an easy choice. I admit. If your USP is you're going to give me admittedly very crappy beer, but all I want.
Yeah.
You goddamn right. I'm going to make sure my hotel's in walking distance from your haunt. And we did. This is all true.
Yeah.
So yeah, that actually happened. A game where we can win a free ticket.
Yeah.
Hell's Gate made that part of their hook.
They did. Yeah.
Also part of Hell's Gate hook.
Yeah, a huge stage show.
Yeah, the huge stage show. House of Shock, that used to be their entire USP pretty much.
Yeah.
The House of Shock haunt was a solid haunt, but other than it being satanic themed, it was a haunted attraction.
Yeah.
And that's not a knock at it. It's what it was. What made it unique, what got it the press, what got it to stand out was that stage show. Which also was apparently stupid expensive.
Yes, and very time... It killed throughput.
Yeah.
It really did.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like we went to Hell's Gate, and we saw how they had a stage show of about similar length in terms of time of the show. And it didn't nuke their throughput.
Yeah.
Because they integrated it into the queue line rather than just, making the queue line wait for it.
Yeah.
Such a better way to handle it, in my opinion. So much better. But yeah, what is this unique hook? Once again, that unique character. I mean, I'm going to throw Bernie Baxter into the bus here. I don't think he's unique enough to be a USP. Because the Carnival Barker theme, that's been done. And it will be done again and again. I get that. But, we were thinking more or less that's our USP and more this is how we have our narrative that lets us do whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah, exactly. It's our framing mechanism.
So he doesn't have to be the USP. But, hey, if you've got a character that's genuinely unique, and I think the place that does this the most right now is Halloween Horror Nights because they have legally got all of, the characters from the Universal movies, which that's a lot.
Yeah.
They've legally got access to that. So their USP is, hey, our haunts are the only place you can legally see Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Or whatever, right? Or the Universal Frankenstein's monster. The only place you can see that legally. If you see it anywhere else, it's going to be some whack ass shit. So yeah, I think that. So I think a character definitely, especially if it's a character that people recognize. Yeah, this creates that FOMO. This gets the hype. This gets me excited. As far as how useful this one is in terms of the haunt, I have never gone to a haunt because of a hook like this and been disappointed that I went. I've been disappointed in the haunt.
Right.
The one in Houston, they gave us the free beer. We should have had the beer before going into the haunt.
Yeah.
That would have been the much smarter approach in hindsight.
Oh, it would have been nice if they had like a beer cart going down the line. So that while you were sitting there waiting in line, you'd have
that and the haunt just wasn't that good.
Yeah, but I still liked it.
I did not hate it. Of the haunts we went to in Houston, it was one of the better ones.
Yeah.
But it still was kind of a letdown because they also advertised it as 4 attractions when they only had 1.
Yeah.
At least they didn't lie about the free beer.
Yeah, no, they didn't lie about that, and they had spent quite a bit of money on their Midway.
Yeah, the Midway was excellent.
Yeah, that's where you wanted to spend time, and that's...
Midway alone was worth the visit.
Yeah.
So, the haunt, it could have been better, but, whatever. But I've never been disappointed by one that offered a USP where they delivered on that USP.
Exactly.
I don't think I've ever been disappointed.
No.
Number 9. Oh, sorry.
Right, number 9.
Number 9.
Fun name.
Yeah.
Silly or unusual.
Something to make me... If I have a list of haunted attractions, like just like an Excel spreadsheet list of haunted attractions, what's going to make me stop on your name? Like, one of my favorites in this regard was Winkler's Bottom.
Yeah.
And sure, unfortunately, it ain't there no more.
Yeah.
But that's a hell of a name.
It really is.
And it got me excited. And it's like, I remember like the thing that was going on for a while that was like all these death metal bands. And And then one was like Candy Party or whatever. It was.
Yeah.
Japes would know. Japes would jump in here and probably thrash me for forgetting the name. But it was one that was like written in crayon font. It was all kitty and legible. But so yeah, I remember. Oh well, I landed on that one's name because it is not like any of the others. This is unique. This is something interesting, and to me, it shows that they're doing something original.
Yeah.
If you're just the 80,000th haunt named Chamber of Horrors or something like that, you're not doing anything original with the naming. I don't have the same. I have the concern you're not going to do anything original with a haunt.
Yeah, exactly.
You're taking no risks. You're pushing no boats out. You're doing nothing other than what is kind of stock and trade. And a unique name, a truly unusual name that stands out, is a great way to immediately clue people like us in that, hey, this haunt ain't like the others.
Yeah.
We're doing things differently. And it may mean you have to market more heavily to have your name connected with haunted attraction. But believe me, that will get people's attention and get people excited.
Yeah. All right.
And number 10 is other businesses and activities. This is, I think, in a way, the big one in terms of what I'm looking for and looking forward to.
Yeah.
What else can I do while I'm at your haunt other than the haunt? What else is there? Is there a midway of carnival games? That's cool. I love me some carnival games. I am a huge mark for carnival games.
Yeah.
I'd probably be a millionaire if there were carnival games didn't exist.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't actually spend that much, but I do love me some carnival games. Is there food to eat? Is there an interesting food truck or something I might want to eat there? Do you have a bar or even just a place to get regular non-alcoholic drinks?
Are you known to have like an oddities curiosity shop that I can buy from?
Do you have a stage show or some other kind of performance going on in the background?
Yeah, or local musicians performing.
Yeah, a lot of
local haunts do that.
13th Gate used to host, only they still do concerts.
Yeah,
on the regular,
and so did House Shop.
Yeah,
back in the day.
Oh yeah, the side stage.
Yeah,
that's how we got introduced to Consortium of Genius was through House of Shock, if I remember correctly.
Exactly.
God, that band has been around for fucking ever. Just realizing, Jesus Christ. Milo, are you alright, man? Seriously, though, what else is there for me to do? And the reason is this. I've gotten to a point where, both in terms of career, finances, and everything, I don't think so much about the money of going to haunts.
Right.
Because also, we're suckers. It's the other part of that. But what we do think about is the amount of time. Because if I'm going to go to your haunt, especially since we're usually in building builds and doing things in haunt season for ourselves,
right?
The first thing we're thinking about is time. And if I'm going to go 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, however far away, I want to make sure this is a good time value. I don't want to go 90 minutes there and 90 minutes back just to go to a 10-minute haunt somewhere in between.
Yeah, exactly. We can't afford to do that.
No.
We just can't.
We cannot afford to do that from a time perspective. And we can't afford to do it from an energy perspective either. We're not spring chickens.
Yeah, we do that and we get back and then we have no energy to work on our haunt. Yeah. Because there's that time of driving back, which, although we talk through everything and it's exciting for a little while, it eventually dies down. Yeah. So.
Exactly. So what I've started doing, and personally, and I know you have too, is when we're planning trips, we're also looking at what other amenities the haunt has.
Yeah.
Does it have, like I said, a midway? Does it have a video game arcade? That'd be a neat pairing.
Yeah.
Does it have food trucks? You know what I mean? What am I doing? Because, hey, 90 minutes to go to a 10-minute haunt sucks. 90 minutes to go to a 10-minute haunt, plus, a 5-minute add-on like Death Ride, plus spending another 30 minutes at the carnival, playing games, plus maybe another half an hour seeing a concert. You pull all those things together, the trip becomes a great value from a time standpoint.
Exactly.
And I know for a fact a lot of haunts don't think of that. They don't actually think about the time, the respecting their customers' time, basically. And if you're in the middle of a city, like, one of the reasons I think the mortuary gets away with A is because they don't have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
But also, they're in the city. No one that's going to the mortuary most likely traveled super far.
Yeah, and if they are, like, so we do have people who come to town just for Halloween in New Orleans.
Yeah. But they're probably here for the city, too.
Exactly. They're not here just for that. It's like whenever we go, like, we're way more lenient with our time whenever we go on the big trip at the beginning of October.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, we're trying to cram as much as we can in, but we also are there. Like, we're in a different city. There's no way that we can work on our haunt.
Yeah.
So if you take a little longer than we estimate to get us through, that's usually fine.
We already ixnayed those nights and those evenings.
Yeah.
But when we're making the day trips in and around New Orleans, time is important. And God bless, I love how much Rise has expanded.
Yes.
But I really hate the fact I can't do it and the 13th Gate in the same night anymore.
Yeah, I know.
It will not work. Will not fucking work.
It really won't.
God damn it, dude. You had to fucking do it. No, but seriously, it's a good thing. It's genuinely a great thing for them to do. And I'm glad they're doing it, and it does make it more interesting. Now, the thing that we did not put on this list, because it does not hype us up or amp us up or convince us, is any hyperbole about, we're the scariest haunt in blank.
No.
That doesn't do shit. Hey, scariest to whom?
Scariest and just biggest. We're the biggest, baddest.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
No, none of that shit. None of that. It's almost fucking
And that's different than size. Like, the size thing is quantifiable. If you say we have X number of feet, not X length of walkthrough, because we will time you. And we have been to so many haunts, and we have never had one that was true to its word on the walkthrough, because it's impossible to tell.
Yeah, and are you timing the slowest person in history?
Yeah.
Are you timing the marathon runner who just wanted a change of trail for the night? You know, who'd you time? Is another question. And see, the thing that always drives me crazy is it feels like when we go through haunts, we go through slow.
Yeah.
I feel like we're barely crawling most of the time, and yet we still hit more groups than hit us.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure. Oh, actually, I know exactly how. Groups get scared and they get stuck. Mm-hmm. They don't move.
Yeah.
And even though we're only moving slowly, we're always moving steadily. Yeah. And I think it's the tortoise and the hare problem again.
I was thinking the slow killer in the background. We're always coming
after you. It's that asshole from Clock Tower with the scissors coming after us. I'm going to get you. Okay, I'm going to walk calmly the other direction now.
Exactly.
Yo, have fun now. So yeah, but no, it's that type of stuff. Telling time is not a good thing, but something that's quantifiable. Mm-hmm. And once again, it's important that you still feel big. But the other thing that we did not put on this list is all those fucking top lists on various sites and in various news articles.
Well, yeah, we said that we avoid them.
Yeah,
that's how it's on this list.
We avoid them completely because here's the thing. One year we went to Atlanta to see Netherworld, and that same year we hit 13th Gate. Mm-hmm. We can talk definitively about that year's Netherworld and that year's 13th Gate side by side. Yeah. Because we're two of the same people who went to two very disparate haunts. I bet the number of people who can do that that year, only a couple of dozen tops. Yeah. I'm pretty sure we could fit them in a microbus. You know? Yeah. Because not that many people do that. So if I'm coming to a town that's far away and your haunt reviewer was like, this is the best one in the area, I'm like, okay, but how does it compare to? Oh, wait, I can't get that comparison. Yeah. So I don't find the reviews helpful. And we know on a lot of sites, and I know it's not all, but it's so goddamn many, I don't know how to pick the sites that are legit. Mm-hmm. So I just kind of ignore those and set those aside. And like we talked about earlier, look for what people have to say organically. Yeah. I find that to be the best way. Mm-hmm. Well, I think that covers it. Yeah. We can end class a few minutes early this week. I'm sorry that we're late. Yeah. Shit, we should have done that in the beginning. But the asshole who wrote the notes forgot to mention.
We just skipped over housekeeping completely.
Yeah, it's something, like I said, the asshole who wrote the notes did not do a very good job. But that was because I was rushed. I was very ill yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not feeling particularly well right now. I don't know if it's coming across, but but definitely wanted to get this out, and thank you all for joining us.
Yeah.
Like I said, hopefully back on schedule next week. It will be episode 392, divisible by 4. That means we're doing
The news.
But until then, check us out at all the places we exist. HauntWeekly.com, Haunt Weekly on Twitter, Haunt Weekly on Facebook, and YouTube.com/HauntWeekly. Check us out, all those places. Leave us a comment, leave us likes, leave us subscribes, do whatever you can. We read everything that we possibly can that you guys send to us. But until next time, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And we will see you all next week.